consumed by the matrix, and then white food allegations. I took my crew on vacation. I grabbed the Abuja, amazed them. Now they go do the Divine Day, Divine Day, Divine Day, guys and goddesses. I wanted to, that's that new Gen Day, off his new album, 85 to Africa. That's that new joint on 85 to Africa. That actually went in perfect alignment with what we're going to get into today. Your intentions are powered by what has your attention. A lot of the times we, as I went back before we went to Generational Curses lecture, if you ever look back at that. Also, actually I'm going to do this now. I will be starting my YouTube channel. It will be under Set Carlo Nijas. As y'all can see, we've been on a nice build ever since I actually started building my platform back in November of 2018. So from everybody from the beginning, that's been in from the beginning, up till now, I think we're up to 332 family members now, that are subscribed to the page, that follow the page. For all of you, thank you. Humble thanks. That means we're all coming in on that same vibration. Even if you didn't know what you were following in the beginning, I hope that you had time to look at the beginnings when I broke down the root chakras. And a lot of the original God thoughts and a lot of the original God posts that I put up, I'm going to go into depth, and that's why I started doing. That's why I have started putting together the YouTube channel in order to do that. I want to go live, more in-depth lectures to have more on the channel, onto a page, more like to a following, so we can like actually put like together that how to. Also on that page, we're gonna do cooking segments. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a big build. We're gonna create because that's how we are, gods and goddesses. That's how we create. That leads more into what has your attention powers your intention, or how I said it. Your intention is powered by what has your attention. If anybody looked earlier, I put a post earlier talking about whatever has your attention, ignore it, take the power away. There is a method to doing this. What we usually do, what we have been trained and programmed to do, is to float. We're basically floating through life. We're basically just surviving. When we're surviving, we're more floating than we're actually grounding ourselves to anything. When we start grounding ourselves to things, we wonder, why is it that every time we seem to get grounded or to get step 1 foot forward, we take 10 steps back? Let's start looking at it. It's not a bad thing to take those 10 steps. Like, we get set 10 steps back. What we need to look at is, instead of saying, why am I getting set? Remember how I said why? Because you're going to be looking up, you're saying, why are you putting that weight on you? Instead of saying what, instead of using that weight to make you stronger and take you better, just take you higher. A lot of the times we have been programmed to, in basically a fear. It's a fear-based society. It's a fear-based realm. It's fear-based energy around us, like that fear-monger, to keep us like one way or the other. If I'm not doing this, then don't do this. Then sit still and wait for things to come to you. But then we're not putting in any work, and we're not actually getting through the dirt that we need to get to in order to cultivate our new self. A lot of times, even for me still now, as I'm still learning how to wait, I'm like one of these insects while I'm talking. We don't set up a base for us. We don't set up an energy staple for ourselves, because we don't understand that literally everything that we give our energy to, that is what has our power. Nothing outside of you has power without you first putting power into it. If you don't pay attention to it, then of course it has no power. That's on the simplest basis. If you don't like onions, or you don't like loud noise, why complain? The way you give it power, remember, it's positive to negative. So if I reinforce something with negative, I don't like onions, or I don't like loud noise, or I don't like these people over here, I don't like this over here, I don't like the way this is structured, I don't like the way this is happening. By you providing your energy in that sense, in the negative anatones, even though it might have a positive intention in you, your intention may have been good, but now it's powered by what you allow to grab your attention. It's powered by that. And in order for that to continue being, what happens is you're now locked into that loop. And a lot of us get locked into a loop of, I don't like my job. I don't like this and I don't like that. But then you're now set into a set of defense, so you're now in survival mode. I don't like my job, but I got to go there to make this money to pay my bills. I don't like this person, but I have to deal with this person in order to get what I need. You see, like we're submitting. We're submitting our energy to something else we're submitting our power to something else for us to thrive and get our energy that we need. Simple question to yourself is, you don't like your job. Someone tells you the simplest thing, go find another one. Then another person to tell you, that same person or a different person to tell you, then you know it's hard out here to find a job. Then you look like, I wish my job would pay me more. I wish this would happen more. I wish this would happen more. All of the energy that you put into something and wishing for something to happen, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you anything that begins with knowledge. It begins with research. It begins with reading a book or two a day, or gathering the information on what you want, or gathering the information, gathering the tools and gathering the materials and the tools needed to build something for you. It's ultimately for you. We spend a lot of time grounding ourselves in what is now to us is foreign soil. We ground ourselves in soil that isn't us. We ground ourselves in the foods that we eat that are not healthy for us, but we're doing it for survival and because it tastes good. We're doing it for the taste. We're doing it for the look. We're doing it for the thrill. We're doing it for the trend. And then we tend to follow along. We're all sitting you get in this boat and you wonder why this boat isn't going in the direction that you want it to go. It's your boat. If you're in a position where you're not going where you want to go, look within yourself and build to where you want to go. We have to look into ourselves first. Everything you need is within you. Remember how I say everything that you need is within you. But in order to get to it, you got to remove those barriers. You got to remove those energies. You got to get in tune with yourself into the way to take yourself to where you need to go. A lot of the times we don't understand why we're going through so many processes. And that's based on simply what you're taking in is processed. How much of what you're taking in is raw, actual nature? How many times do you go outside a day, or even if you don't go outside, how many times do you let natural light into your home? Like I just spent probably the last couple of hours, woke up this morning, had a nice divine rise, did a couple posts, talked to a couple people, got everything ready, got everything around, and cleaned up, shined up some stuff. And now as you see coming from this side, the natural light's being lit in. I don't have any lights on, nothing unnatural. What you can control, gain as much control as you can control of something. So I let the natural light in. Even though I think it's like 85 degrees outside. It's hot outside and I have the air conditioner on, but I have my incense and I have I have like the certain plants that are absorbing and they're redistributing oxygen into the air. I'm doing as much as I can within the space that I'm at. And as you get better at creating your space, you set your intention on the attention of what you're creating. You set your intention on the attention of what you are putting into the place. That's how you keep your power with you and you raise your energy, you raise your vibration, we raise our frequencies. When you start allowing the negative in, and it's connecting to, when the negative comes at you, it's connecting to your positive energy. So that's why it's going to bring you down. But instead of, oh my God, I stay away from these things, learn to why it's still coming to you. Most of the time, we don't even understand why something keeps coming to us is because we're still atoning to that. We're still bringing attention to that. We still give attention to that. You still give attention to those people that are always negative, always have something negative to say. So every time they come around you, remember that sacred energy exchange, sex is simply not physical. Sex is spiritual, as much spiritual as it is mental, as much as it is physical. So in that breaking that barrier of saying sex is one thing, someone can simply say something to you. Anything that stimulates you is the same energy as somebody touching you. So it becomes more important to like how you allow people to speak around you, what you listen to, who's around you, who you allow to touch you, how do you allow things to, what you ingest, somebody with a simple touch that is of negative nature can touch you and scramble your entire aura, your entire mind easily. Shift everything out of whack. You ever notice like certain people come around you and you're stuck in a loop? You talk about the same people, you talk about the same things you did last year, you talk about the same things you did last week. You start thinking about these same things over and over and over again in a way that you're not growing from. You can't your blessings can be blocked by the people around you. Just like your energy can block somebody else's. That's why I remember when I first started coming, you always say karma's a bitch. At this point, I don't even really believe in karma because I don't believe in how karma is used in that sense. And I'm going to explain it. If you are into helping people, which is good. This is more, and also this is going to break down more on humanity, breaking away from your humanity to get to your God self. If you're into helping people and making sure people are good and making sure people are great and it makes you feel good in your heart and it sets your heart and it makes you swell and you're full of love. You have to be careful because just because your intention is good, what you're setting your intention to do something good, now you're giving your attention to something that may not need that or may be going through their own thing, going through their own balance. You may be blocking exactly what needs to happen to them. Sometimes when we think that we're enabling people, we're actually enabling people. When we think we're helping people, we're actually enabling them. We're actually disabling the energy to shift and take them to where they need to go. A lot of the times. And sometimes we don't even think about it. Well, I was just trying to help them out. They needed a ride. Or, man, I was just trying to help them out. They needed something to eat. Or, man, I needed something out. I gave them a place to stay for a couple of days. But we don't know what energy a person brings with them. And remember, in accepting something, you must accept it totally. There is no, I may accept it a little bit at a time, but take it with a grain. Remember, you say take it with a grain of salt. As you get higher into your spiritual self, as we get higher into our God selves and our God energy, and we start creating on our higher self, this is when we have to start looking at both sides of the coin. This is the biggest part about looking at both sides of the coin, because some of the people that come into your life are lessons. Everything that comes into your life is a lesson. It is based upon, it's a lesson of the remnants of what you're leaving from, or a blessing and a thought process of the reflections of what you're going to. Hey, Crystal, welcome. Hey, Nika, y'all welcome to the, we're getting into your intention is powered by what has your attention. But someone can come into your life and can rock your entire life in a positive sense. They can rock your entire life. The way you think about eating, the way you think about sleep, the way you think about getting back into school, the way you think about getting into things to better yourself. They can rock your whole world and have you thinking about something different that you never even thought about. They can have you feeling a sense of euphoria because you didn't have anyone around you that was doing that already. And then they make you look at everything around you. It's not that they're changing you, they're making you aware. They're giving you, now they're giving you their energy. Now you're looking through their eyes at how they see things. And now that barrier, everything was already there. You just weren't aware of it yet because you were on the same frequency. Remember, you don't know you're inside a box until you're outside of the box. You don't know what the world has in it, not unless you go out into the world. Changes the whole thought process. You don't know, hey, Crystal, Golden Grams, blue cheese in the building, ladies and gentlemen, blue cheese. But you don't know that something can alter your mindset and alter everything around you. Just like similar, if someone comes into your life that's always negative, or you're around people that are always in that negative mindset, that negative mantra. I can't wait to get off to go smoke. I can't wait to get off to go have a drink. Hey, let's go do this. And they can be taking you away from where you need to go. You may have needed to sit down in the house for a little bit and reflect. You may have needed to go to the park and sit there and reflect. You may have needed to go sit in your car for a couple hours with the air on to reflect. Those moments that we really don't even think about, that alone time is some of the best time that you'll have for yourself. But we're taught, you didn't know what suicide was until you were told what suicide was. A person can tell you something and they'll base a definition to something. And since you think everybody has the same intention as you, you don't look deeper into it. And then you start connecting it to you. It's like going on a WebMD. It's like going on the internet and going on the WebMD. And then you're sitting there like, I think, oh my God, I have a cough. And then you go read something and you think you got like class 3 cancer, class 4 cancer. And anybody, I'm also going to go into more health videos. Any diseases in your body is because of the mucus. So like, if I tell you you have cancer, and that's like something as simple as breast cancer awareness month, when they wear the pink ribbon and then the milk puts the ribbon on the container, but it's already written down and documented that the most cancerous cells are within cow's milk based on the process of how they do it, the radiation that they do it. So I'm going to give you more radiation to kill your body. So they're basically killing you faster. Anyway, you see how what has your attention sets your intention of what you're trying to get to. Our thought process on this is, in your life right now, you're going to get to a point. Remember how I broke down in the generational curses? If you haven't seen generational curses, I suggest you go look at that lecture. And we're always going to, everything connects. So you might hear me say something from one video that come to this video, and I go expound on in this video. That's all about a part of growth, because knowledge is infinite. If I sit here and tell you, what was I talking about? Wait, come back. My intention was to explain something. Oh yeah. If you sit here and you're in a position where nothing seems to be going right in that realm, you just can't get right. You can't get enough hours at your job. Your car broke down. Your rent's overdue, electric about to get cut off. All of these things come into your life. They don't all come at once. All these things don't come at once. There's signs. There's signs before it happens. And since we're so used to looking without and say it's going to come, we're going to get it. Oh, we're going to get it. We never really take the intention until it happens. You ever notice you only get stressed out when something happens? Oh, I hate the world. And everything starts boiling over. It's because we have not been paying attention to ourselves. Something as simple as, and then when you start thinking about it, you can just put 1 and 2 together. My car's not acting right because of maybe where I got it from wasn't good to go get it from in the beginning. have been running my car along. I've been giving all these people rides. I've been out late nights. I've been doing this. I've been doing this. I haven't been sitting my ass down. Remember that thought process of like your mom, grandmother, like somebody come in your head, like, dang, sit your ass down, slow down. So if your car shuts down, ain't you forced to slow down? But it also is going to show you what you need to see. A lot of these events that happen in our lives shows you exactly what you need to see, exactly what you've been having questions about. So if you're the person that's always giving people rides, always helping people out, giving people rides, getting them from point A to point B, but you're aiding them, you're actually enabling them from doing something for themselves. You're actually helping them, and then it's hindering you. It's stopping you. So the minute you don't have your car, thank you. You look at so the moment you don't have your car, your phone stops ringing. You stop getting text messages. No one's checking in. You may have your normal people that always check on you, but think about don't look at the people. Anything that's repeating itself in a natural nature that's good will always repeat itself. It'll always show up. It'll always come in. But the things you need to pay attention to are what's coming out. The light's already there. You created that light. You created that space. I'm going to get back into that, and I'm going to make another point on that. But this point on this. But look at the things that happen when you're not doing it. The minute you're not giving that person a ride. The minute you're not going over to this person's house or go hang out with these people. What happens? They're still doing the same thing they were doing before. The only thing is you're now not involved. It can even get as bad as they have conversations about other people, but never have conversations about you. But now the conversation is being had about you. Where's the defense on that? With that defense to that energy on that with yourself? Now it's your attention. Now that your intention, your good intention for yourself, the intention that you set is not powered by their attention. Watch their attention. Watch their attention change. Watch their intention show. Not everybody has the same heart as you. When it comes to us as a diaspora of kings and queens in our energy, not everybody has the same energy or the mindset as us. That's like one of the biggest things that always gets to us is like, not everybody has the same mindset as us. Not everybody has the same intentions as us. So in order to set a balance or try to make us equal, the programming is to brought us down in here. But what always shines through is that we're of love. We are of love. We are of peace. We are of learning. We are of rhythm. We are of balance. It's amazing like that. Also, like, whenever you have a conversation, I'm going to get into, because Robin just said something that just blew my mind. She said, I just had that conversation last week. It's crazy that some of the things, sometimes when we start saying things, when we start speaking on things, and we start bringing in a certain energy, that's when we're connected to that vibration, that frequency. So you may hear something as small as a song over and over and over again. Last week, I heard, what song was I listening to all week? I was listening to Magic Number by B.O.B. on his new album. And I don't know why I was listening to the Magic Number and then think about numbers and threes. And I was just thinking about that. And I was thinking about 333 and the angel numbers and all these numbers. And then it set my intention. And I had a conversation at work with somebody about how alignment works and everything. So like it cued me in. These are the things, that's our intention. And that is a feminine aspect. So it's also beautiful that the goddess Queen Robin kicked in and she said that, like, that's a feminine energy, our intuition. But our intuition is guided by our gut. You know, that gut feeling, that gut intention that you have, that's by your gut. So think about also what you put into your stomach, what you eat. Before you can actually pay attention to your gut instinct, is your gut yours? Is your stomach naturally producing? Because like when you're producing in a natural, like your body's in natural in tune with itself, your body tells you everything you need to know. A lot of us don't understand, like your body's intention, your body's sole intention is to work for you. Your mind, body, spirit is all to work for you. It's about taking you to your higher self. It's all to work for you. So what you put into your body fuels or powers the attention you pay to your body, fuels the intention of what you want to say. So if you're going through a process and you're having a hard time getting into your natural self and like getting into a natural thought process, natural sleep, natural rhythms for yourself to operate at your maximum, it's because of what the process that you're doing inside your body. But back into the thought process, there are people's intentions change as your attention shifts. The moment that you start losing, I remember when I first came into my to spirituality, and I remember my Facebook page was full of the normal. I had like probably 300, 500. I had like 600 friends on my Facebook page. When I started setting my intention towards myself and finding myself and getting into my spiritual energy, my page started changing. That was the physical, I use that as a physical example. My page started changing. I recently looked at my page. I got I got probably 185 friends on my friends list now. I set it and forget it. I started posting things on my page that were, because your Facebook page is about you. So I started posting things about me that resonated with me. And slowly but surely, my page started dipping away and falling away until I'm looking at my page now and I'm looking at my friends I should know, or I look at suggested friends. And it's like a lot of these people that are in my suggested friends are people that I used to know. People that at a certain time were needed for me in that space. I'm not in that space anymore. So my intention changed. My manifestation, my intention changed. So their attention changed. So whether I'm been unfriended or unfollowed, good. That's the cleansing we need. And what a lot of us are stuck in that humanity phase. When you come into your consciousness, we get stuck in that humanity phase. But just like a dog can't be a human, a dog can't be a human because it can't think. It only can think like a dog. Similar to, you can't be your old self thinking, thought processes, ideologies, without first breaking away from it to tap into your higher self. A lot of us are stuck in this. We're stuck in limbo. A lot of us get to a certain point and we're stuck in limbo in our life. Limbo looks really good because limbo is built of things that we need and we're surviving with, but it's also built with a window into where we can go. So without even thinking about it, we're decorating limbo. A lot of us are decorating limbo. We're decorating purgatory. Doing the same thing every single day. You wake up, you wake and bake, drink your coffee, whether it's coffee or your adult drink or whatever. You start your day the same way you started your day for the last 8 to 10 years. And you start it over and you're doing it again, you're doing it again, you're doing it again, over and over and over again, realizing, why am I not getting different results? The definition of insanity is to repeat the same action and expect a different result. If you sit here and you want better friends, guess what you got to do first? You got to better yourself. The things that are your strengths that are already a part of you already, your strengths that are you, those are the things that you take to the next level. You improve on your strengths. Your weaknesses, our weaknesses are what attract most of our friends now. Because if you didn't have any weaknesses, the moment you start working on your weaknesses, start working on yourself, some of your friends don't even come around you anymore. The more you start working on that, some people don't even come around you anymore. So why were you even giving it attention? And then the more understanding that you get into yourself as we study the knowledge of ourselves, the reason you understand why they were there in the first place. The only reason they were there in the first place is because they were connected to you on a deeper level. It's all about depth. We're stuck on substance. Why is this fucker looking at me? Why are they looking at you? They're wondering the same reason why you just looked over at them. It's all about that attention. What you give attention gives power to your intention. It sets into what you manifest. Because remember, when you go in subconscious, go into your mind, where we program our minds, we're literally rebooting our subconscious. We're unlearning and relearning, bringing in our reprogramming our subconscious, and we're battling our ego. Our ego will have us sitting there saying, I don't feel like doing this today. It'll have us sitting there like, I don't feel like doing this today. But then you wonder, the only thing you have is today. There's no such thing as the future. The past is a bunch of old memories. All you have is today. Today is where it begins. So if you set your attention on today and what you're going to do today, everything flows naturally. Just because you have to set, but you have to set these intentions now. You have to set the intention now. You set your intention, you set your manifestation, you set your affirmations. You tell yourself you're going to have a good day when you first wake up. I guarantee after about 5 or 6 days saying you're going to have a good day when you wake up, you're going to stop giving attention to the things that no longer resonate with you on getting to the bad, getting to yourself being good. And then you start working on the things that are within yourself in order to take yourself even further. Because it all starts, everything is all connected to you in some way, shape, or form. It's all powered by us. It's all mainly powered by you. You are the power source. When you close your eyes, it's dark. You don't see anything. Even if you cried to sleep or whatever, you don't see anything. But as soon as you open your eyes, that's when everything you see it. So people that come around you or start to come around you don't exist until you see them. Because remember, everybody's perception of people is different. Everybody has a different perception of you. That's because you don't exist until somebody sees you. That person doesn't exist until you see them. The only thing you have that connects you to somebody is the memory or those built up memories. The energy of built up memories and everything you know about that person. But as a person changes, those memories are all you have attached to. What happens with a lot of us is we're stuck in that paradox. We're stuck in that little limbo of, I remember when they were like this. You ever hear someone talk about the lack of progression with that? You ever say, I don't like the music of now. Okay. But last time I checked, the music that we listened to when we grew up, the old heads didn't like that. The old heads didn't like the music we listened to. Sound like a bunch of garbage, sound like a bunch of noise. And before that, the only reason they're able to say that because they have the memory of their people around them, their elders. I don't understand what the heck you listening to. You're talking about let's get it on. You listen to some John, listen to this 5 heartbeats. Same thought process. It all ties together. By the way, I'm playing with my phone. I'm still learning a lot of stuff on my phone. Sorry about that. Press the wrong button. But it's all about understanding there was a progression and change. There was a different form of creation. And a lot of us, when I break down on the music thing, and I said probably a couple video ago, it's like disco, is because we've lost control of creation. We've lost our power is put into that in the negative anatone. So if you don't like something and you voice you don't like it, and you constantly voice you don't like it, the only thing you're going to connect to is more entities that don't like it. But they might not like it deeper than you. You don't know what they're attached. You don't know what that entity over there is attached to that you say you don't like something with. So you have to be careful on what you connect to on that vibration. Once you speak something, remember, our words are sound, our words are light. So the minute you speak that out and that light is captured by something else and it's contained by something else and is held, it can control you. It has control over you. That's why it's hard for a lot of us. Like if something bad happens to us and we get so stuck on it, we wonder, no matter what we do, we seem to always keep coming back to that same person or that same energy or that same entity or that same place, person, place, or thing or idea. We're talking nouns now. You attach to that is because it still has power over you. It's because you have not looked within yourself first to see how it's connected to you. Remember, I tell everybody it's a spiral effect, and life continuously goes around in this spiral effect, going downwards on this one paradigm. I'm going to show you how it should. And it keeps spiraling down, going back to your roots where you survived. So if you look at how you survived and you keep going down and down and down this spiral and things keep repeating based on how you're surviving, you're taking energy from your lower self. You're taking energy from the hell. So that's why you're going through hell. That's why you can't seem to overcome anything, because you're still stuck in the paradigm of how you used to survive. I got to survive. I got to go get it. I got to do this. I got to do this. It's scripted. You're floating through life. Now you're not grounded. You're grounded within your old energy. You're grounded within your old self. You're grounded within your, so it doesn't matter what intentions you set, what affirmations you set, what things you tell yourself is going to be challenged, but where your energy is grounded. Is your energy grounded to something else outside of you, or are you grounded into yourself? See, once you come online to yourself, you realize you got to break ground. That's where shadow work comes in. That's where the shadow work comes in. I always talk about shadow work. Shadow work is literally exactly what it sounds like. Doing the work in the dark, doing the work in the shadows, looking at them things about yourself that you have come to terms with in one sense of way, but it's not working anymore. Like, how many times have you sat there and you're doing something and you call yourself hustling, or like, that's the way it be. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this for my life. But then you want something different to happen. Now you're stuck in this thought process of, if I change this, then everything changes. There's nothing wrong with that. The thing we get stuck on is, now I don't want to do that. What a lot of people look at when they think about spirituality, all they see is the floating part. That we're seen to be floating through life. Similar to like if I smoke and he seems to just be floating through life. Now understanding that the only reason I seem like I'm floating to you is because I'm grounded to myself. I'm grounded differently. So if you're grounded in external energies, external processes, external religious views, external views, everything's external. You never look inside yourself. You never look. You're a glass house. We'll use the glass house analogy. Here's a glass house. All I'm looking at is what's outside my glass house. But I never work on the inside of the glass house. So I keep the windows clean so I can look out. but I never take care of what's inside the house. But I don't want people to look in my house, so my windows become dirty. My vision becomes unclear. My vision becomes uncertain. So then everything around me becomes of uncertainty. So everything connects. Remember, everything is everything. So everything becomes uncertain. So everything in your life becomes a thing of give and take. Everything about your life becomes a sense of, I don't really have, what is my purpose? I can't follow my passion. I can't follow my dreams. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? So you keep you building up all these whys. Now you're setting your attention in the whys, and you're giving your attention to the negative and not looking for, what is this showing me? If I sit here and every day I go outside that it rains and I go outside with an umbrella and I get wet, simple thought process, next time I need to take an umbrella. If I go outside and I have a bag in my hand with some trash in it, and I know that my neighbor's dog is always on the loose around this time, always running around because he's not home, maybe I should change when I take out my trash. It's not about the thought process of, and then it's not about the external, like, why don't they do this? All you can control is your reaction to anything that happens. All you can control is your reaction. At the end of the day, no matter what happens in your life, all you control is your reaction to it. That's all we ever can control. You set your intention. The same way you set your intention and you're not going to go do something is the same way you set how you put your attention to something. It's hand in hand. Positive and negative, positive and negative. I know if I go do this, this is going to be the result. I'm not expecting anything outside of what I already know. That's how you grow. The more that you expound upon knowledge, the more you understand why things are falling into a certain place. Things are falling into a certain category. That way you become grounded more into the knowledge of you rather than the knowledge of somebody else. Then you all start understanding, going deeper into that. You understand why people can be so attached to you. That means they know something about you that you don't know. They know something about you that you don't know. That's why then it goes deeper into that. It's like, now you understand why people can get so attached to you. They know that you are emotional, so they know how to harp on with emotion. People know how to make you happy. Same people know how to make you happy, know how to make you sad, know how to make you mad, know how to make you upset, make you get distracted. You give them that power by giving the attention to it, even if it makes you mad, you pissed, even if you get pissed the fuck off at it. Our word tells you never to show your full cards to your enemy. Allow them to make the first move. Allow them to make the first step. Because it's going to be something that you'll be able to study. That's why as we grow our spiritual wisdom, we learn how to still ourselves. The more you learn how to still your own mind, the more you learn how to still everything else around you. There's, I was just recently watching Netflix and the show Lucifer. That's actually a good show. I don't know if anybody's actually seen the show. I was on TV, but Amenadiel is Lucifer's brother. He's an angel and he breathes and slows down time. Also, in that's also like, that's what you do every day. That's what we need to learn how to do for ourselves. And it starts in that whenever you take that meditative purpose, because everything that you do builds you up for something more. Everything that you do builds you up for something more. Everything that comes to you is building you for something more. You control the destination of where you're going with that something more. Everything is fuel to you. So if you get upset at something, was it the day bad? Or did your mind and your thoughts and your actions went undisciplined for a couple minutes, for a few minutes, and then it set the course for how the rest of your day went? If something came into your life to uproot you, what is it showing you? What is it teach? That's just when you look at, what is it teaching me? What is this teaching me right now? You don't understand the balance into your mindset if you sit here and say something, I say that a lot. If you set your attention towards all this is this and all this is bad, all people ain't shit, or we'll go deeper, like you say, white people ain't shit, and all that, they don't, anything outside of you really doesn't have any power. So by you saying it's not shit, that means somewhere in you, you're not shit. It's like the simplest term. Coming to terms with that reality in yourself helps you defeat the scenario. Because if you know you're on your game, you know you're the shit and you're on your game, you in your zone, you in your God level energy, you in your realm, your reality is on point. Nothing outside of you can really phase you. You switch from defense to offense because your defense is already naturally in order. So now you're in offense. Now you're floating. To somebody outside of you, it seems like, man, you always floating through life. There's never a problem with you in your life. You never seem to have any problems. On one level, yeah, there's never nothing going on in my life. My life seems to be good. It looks good because overall, at the end of the day, my life is great because I have my basics in order. I can go get something to eat. I can eat. I can lay down. I have shelter. I have something over my head. In this realm, you need the currency with the current. You need that energy of currency in order to move and propel yourself, which is money. I have everything that I need at this point in time. Going to the next level, if I want more, I know I have to do more of the same or create a new lane. Do more of the same and create my own lane. A lot of times we get stuck in the thought process of that creating our own lane and where we create that energy from. One of the biggest things when we start creating energy for ourselves and start not creating our energy, but regaining, subsourcing our power to ourselves is the thought process of, why does this keep happening to me? And you're in that loop. It's because you're drawing energy from that loop. Take it as simple as this. We'll say something with sacred energy exchange. You ever been around people? You ever had a relationship, maybe in a relationship now, been in a relationship was hellified toxic. And you knew it was hellified toxic after you stepped out of it. But what made you usually stay? Man, the sex was banging with her crazy ass. Man, he was slinging that dick to me good. It was great. But everything else was toxic. Or they have a place. They have a house. They have a car. They have something that you don't have that you think that you need at that point in time to get from point A to point B to the structure. The only way you can continue getting from that space and getting the things that you are getting is submitting to that energy, submitting to that power source. So the longer that you put yourself into a space where it may be toxic, I'm getting some good out of this toxic place because I don't know any better, because I don't have enough knowledge to do it for myself. At a point in time, you have to set the mindset, the intention in your head of, I want to do better. This cannot be what I am subjected to for the rest of my life. And that's when you start to be shown, that's when your spirit's going to hit you, your own energy, your higher self's going to hit you like, about time you want to do this shit. That's when the ancestors and elders are going to hit you, about time you want to get right. All right, cool, I'm going to help you start removing stuff. And there in that time be some of the most worst days of your damn life. You ever broke up with somebody? It's like the worst breakup that you're ever going to experience. Imagine the worst breakup that you ever had was only a manifestation of how you were at that time. So the minute you break up with yourself, your old self going to try to make you remember all the good times that you had, similar to that relationship. And you don't go through that Rolodex of memories in your head, that little photo book in your head of, oh my God, this happened. I remember when this happened. I remember when this happened. But this happened during this time. All I need is a little bit of this to change. Get rid of all of it. Build yourself to a point where you get rid of all of it, because ain't none of it. If one thing isn't good, all of it's bad. If I take a piece of molded fruit and I put it in a bowl with fresh fruit, within 3-4 days, that molded fruit has affected all of the other fruit in that bowl. Similar to you. If you're around a space of toxic, I don't care how clean and out, do it like this. If you go buy your freshest outfit and you go to the club or you go to a venue and someone steps on your shoes, they step on your shoes. Now you upset because they stepped on your shoe. But you already knew that that place was a place that was unruly, was going to be toxic anyway. So you knew that was expected. A lot of us get stuck on this thing of, we know it's expected. We know exactly what to expect, but we go do it anyway. We know exactly what to expect, but we don't do it anyway. And then we get mad at the result. Definition of insanity. Repeating the same actions over and over again, expecting a different result. You know it wasn't going to happen the first time. Why do you think it's going to happen the second time? Once a person or a thing has shown and given you the action of its intention and what it does, that's when you act accordingly. That breakup is going to be the hardest thing you're going to do. The biggest breakup that you're going to have to do is with yourself. The biggest breakup that you're going to have to go through is with yourself. That process is long as a breakup, as an external relationship. And that's called cleansing and purging. But when you're doing the cleansing and purging, a lot of us, when we do a cleanse and we do a purge and we talking about new you and new hue and go buy some new stuff, we don't clean up. When you clean a space, when you clean and you cleanse, you're doing everything backwards. When you do a detox, it's doing everything backwards. It's retracing the steps back to the beginning, or where you're going back to your natural self, so you start the process over again. That's the only way to understand the new destination and where you're going to. Remember, the destination is already set by the intention of what you set. What you need to understand is the journey along the way, the things that come up along the way, the good, the positives, the negatives. This person over here happened here, this person happened over here. As you go forward, your intention is set. Your intention is already set. Now you're paying attention to the path. And as you get better at paying attention to the path, you can stop worrying about certain things in your intention. You still focus on your intention. I'm getting to the better me today. I'm getting to the better me today. What do I have to work on? The minute you start working on it, that's when the procrastination comes in. Your natural demons, or Damien. Remember, demon is Latin for Damien, which means intelligence, knowing, deity, entity. All that's how they brought in the word demon. Your intelligence. So procrastination isn't bad. Procrastination can teach you patience. Procrastination be like, I'm going to hold off on going out today. I don't have the money. I'm going to hold off. That's procrastination in a positive sense. You taught yourself patience. Procrastination in the negative aspect is, I'm going to start that diet tomorrow. I'm going to start my detox tomorrow. I'm going to start not dealing with them tomorrow. That's the procrastination in the negative aspect. What we have to get more in tune to is understanding the positive and negative of everything that comes into our realm, comes into our space. Your intention is powered by what has your attention. So if you're going into old paradigms and old paradoxes that everybody around you, because it seemed like common knowledge and it was a trend, one of the biggest trends that we're in is still one of the biggest trends to date. You don't even think about it. As much as we're stuck in a box and you say you're an individual. If we're all in the same box, locked in, let's take a box that has like all the little dividers in it, and we're all slanted to one of these little slants. It's nice that you can paint your box green, purple. You paint the inside of your box to match who you think you are or what you want to be. But at the end of the day, you're just looking at the walls of a box. And then if you have a hole and you go to somebody else's box, now you're in the wall of somebody else's box. The only way to understand that you're in a box is to step outside of that box. Some of the most outrageous, outlandish things that are going to pop out to you as you come into yourself, start paying attention to them. It's no longer setting attention. Don't put your attention. I'm not saying don't put your attention on the things that are already set for you, that you already know are part of your balance. Look at the things that are taking you off of your balance. Look at the things that are taking you away from, and look at how it's taking you away from. That's how you start understanding negative and positive aspects of things. That's why it's always important. Like, if you feel like you need to take that time by yourself, take that time by yourself. Turn your phone off. Don't tell anybody. Of course, you're going to when you turn your phone back on, you don't get that string of text messages. Girl, where was you at? Yo, dude, you what? You good? You good, fam? Yeah, I'm good. I just had to take some time to myself. Oh, you changing up. Oh, you acting different. No, my attention changed back to myself. I'm more in tune with myself now. So I'm not thinking about what you wanted to do the other night. I'm not thinking about going to that party, that event, because I know what's already going to happen there. Since I already know, why would I keep subjecting? If you know something, why do you keep subjecting yourself to it? The only way you subject yourself to something that you know the result is either you want everything to be the same or you have a lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge brings forth a lack of fear. It brings more fear. The more fear comes in, the less love, the less you. The less understanding brings in more fear, which brings in less love, which ultimately means less you. The hardest thing for us to do is to love ourselves if we don't know ourselves. At the most, people that are walking around, the dead that are walking around, the people that are unconscious, the people that might be their purpose, they don't know themselves truly. Because if you truly knew yourself, would you do some of the things that you're doing? If you truly loved yourself and everything you did came from an intention of pure love to yourself, would you be doing some of the things that you do? Would you put yourself in situations that bring you fear and pain if you loved yourself? And it starts with self. We're already selfish, but you're in the negative anatone. Remember, in your lower self. So, of course, your selfishness seems like real selfishness. So the definition of selfishness matches the negative. But it's good to be selfish in the positive aspect. It's good for me to take that day to myself and clean my space. It's good for me to take that day to myself and cook myself something to eat. Cook myself a nice healthy meal. It's good for me to take that time to myself and run that bath and sit there and soak and read and meditate. It's good for me to take 20 minutes to myself, 30 minutes to myself, 45 minutes to myself, an hour to myself, just to get my head right. It's good. That's also being selfish, but it's more in a positive atonement to yourself. You're no longer giving yourself attention, because a lot of the times people confuse attention, they confuse it with being wanted. If you don't want yourself, you don't love yourself, how do you expect anybody else to, how do you expect the reflection to come through the attention that you're going to receive? A lot of the attention that you receive to be wanted is more of the same toxic energy, more of the same poison you put into your veins. That's when it's better to be valued. I'll take being valued and have a conversation with a person once a week than being wanted and having conversations every single day. Those conversations every single day that seem like small talk. It means more to me to be valued because I value myself. Since when you start to love yourself, you start to value yourself more. The way that you approach life has higher value because you don't want anything around you that's going to bring you any less value than the value you bring to yourself. So your intentions change. Now you still have that same good intention of helping people, but it's based off you being the example first. If I can't provide knowledge to you first, if I can't provide from what I have and it's not enough, then you have no value. If I can't give you of what is me, pure unadulterated, my love, my energy to that level, then you have no value in my life. You simply just want something. So when you look in the mirror, do you value and love yourself? Or are you just a bunch of wants? I want this and I want this and I want my hair to be long. I want to fit in a size 0. I want to do this. But it's always based off of people's outside of me attention. I'll get all the attention I want if I look like this and I act like this. I get all the attention I want, and you also get all the attention that you don't want. Now all eyes are good eyes. Now all eyes are on positive. The way that you act is based off value of yourself or attention through the wanting of something. If I want everybody to look at me a certain way, I act a certain way. Regardless, you're going to be seen. But are you going to be seen the value that you hold in yourself? Are you being seen for that? Or are you just remnants of more of the same? That shadow work, when you start looking into yourself and why things happened and how things happened and how your life happened, it gets scary. Similar to if you start meditating and you start getting into psychedelics and you start taking certain processes, you start seeing some of the most scariest things in the world. I remember when I first started doing my actual in-depth meditation, I started seeing I saw some scary shit. I saw vampires and one-eyed monsters and a bunch of other shit that was scary to me. Similar to if a child draws a picture of a monster and said, this monster lives in our house. And it's like a relative. That's your sight. It's all you. The only way to overcome it is to set your intention to understand it. So once you set your intention to understand it, the power that gave that attention to that monster, it becomes whatever, it solidifies into what it actually is that you need to overcome. You spend your entire life looking at people. I don't like this person. I don't like that person. I don't like this person. I don't like that person. Why do you not like them? What about them resonates within you? Are they the opposite of something that you are? That's their purpose. Their purpose is to be the opposite of what you are. That way you know what you don't want to be. If somebody walks around full of hatred and you're full of love, we already understand that love is of understanding and abundance, and loving is of understanding and abundance. And we already understand fear is lack of knowledge or lack of something or not wanting to understand something. So that's where the hatred comes from. So what do they hate about themselves that they're not trying to project onto you? And since in their mind is based off lack of knowledge, it is more on a propaganda basis, all they have is stereotypes. And we all know that in this realm right now, we live in a bunch of stereotypes, but those are of the human mind. As you get higher into yourself, you start realizing that we're no longer part of it. In order to separate and get higher and get past this point, it's getting out of our human mind and get into our God self. Get into our God frequency energy. That comes from here. This is that brain. Once you set what you ingest in your gut and you change that, that intention starts rising and how you survive starts rising up. You get to the heart of the matter. That's your truth. So if in your heart is fear, pain, anguish, everything you think and everything you manifest has to come from that energy. Everything that you want has to come from that same space of energy. But the minute you get to the truth of yourself and you do that work and you get to the truth of yourself, everything that you think and manifest comes from a place of pure light, pure energy, the pure positive. If you're wondering why you're going through what you're going through right now, what are you holding on to? What have you not come to terms with? If it is something as simple as the death of loved ones, we understand. Our ancestors, our elders understood that when they're released from their physical body, that energy comes into you. Soon as that energy goes into you, that's your energy, because you have all the memories. You have all the good times, the bad times. You have all the energies. You have all that memory, DNA, inside of you. Now it's part of your DNA again. So how are you using it to take yourself forward? I'm doing this for, just like you looked at You Got Served. Let's go do this for Little Saint. That's that same energy. Anything outside of you is going to teach you that once it's over, it's over. And it's okay to go through the pain and that in memory of missing them forever. All you're missing is the memories. You have all the memories. All you miss is the physical part. But it's inside of you. Look at what you became after that happened. How much homage did you pay to them based on that? Some of us are acting out the worst parts and not even realizing it. A lot of the times when a loved one transitions, we act out the worst parts of them first. And no one understands that 2 and 2 go together. We'll sit here and we'll act out the worst parts of our loved ones that have passed, have transitioned. We'll act out the worst parts of them because we're connected to all of those memories and we're not circumventing and using that energy to take us higher. So to stay in that space, remember, the space and where you gain your energy from, the source of it, you must continuously go to that source. You must continue circulating through the pain and whatever that source is built, whatever that source is made of, you're going to continue looping through that. So if you come from a source of pain, everything that you're going to get in your life is going to be pain. If you come from a source of love, everything you have is going to be a source of love. If you come from a source of broken home, everything that comes in your life is going to come from a sense of being broken. Your intention is powered by what has your attention. At every given moment, your intention is powered by what has your attention. So what are you letting get on your nerves? What are you allowing to hit at you all the time? Now it has your attention. And sometimes what has your attention becomes just simply just a distraction. It could be something more. It has no other purpose but to watch the world burn. And you allow it to burn away. What world does it burn? Some things don't have no intention but to watch shit burn. You're your own universe. You're your own world. All that energy comes back to you. You're your own universe. You're your own realm. You're your own reality. So anything outside of you that thinks it's detrimental to you realizing that is going to want to watch you burn. It's going to want to watch you suffer, be mad, all your emotions, and keep you from tapping into yourself. They're not afraid of you for lack of understanding. They're not afraid of you for lack of understanding. Because the outside of you that really you need to get to is through that. And that's another thing that just came in. I'll give you a what if. I'm gonna give you a what if. If outside of you is everything that you don't want to be, is all manifested into one, we'll say entity, we'll say one race. Is everything you don't want to be. But at the same time, everything that you want to be comes from that same entity. How do you defeat it? There's only one way to defeat it. Because all that is of you. The hatred, the disgust, the darkness, the mindset, the intention, the thought processes, that's all of your lower self. You are already naturally a spiritual energy within a vessel. We are the only entities on this planet as the original people of lineage and our royalty that have the same thing that gives us light, gives us life every single day. Coded without us, as within, as without, as within, as above, so below, is the same thing. That's what it is. We're looking at our own soul. Every time you look into the sky, you look at your soul. Every time you look into the sky, you see your soul. Every time it rains, that means, write that down. Every time it rains, what does the rain do? It cleanses, it washes away, and it helps new growth. Even if it destroys some shit with a flood, it cleanses and makes way for stuff that is new. Same with the wind, same with lightning, same with all the elements, all of the seasons. That's what it means going deeper into every season. How does it pertain to you? Because you're a part of it. This external thought process of idea that comes to us is setting us into that pattern of never understanding why. We're stuck on why this happens. We know why it happens. It's part of the cycle. What we need to understand is what is it showing me? You look at the moon, it goes through its phases. What does that show you? That life goes through phases. But every night, every morning, every divine rise, the sun rises. So no matter what phase you go through, at the end of it, you always rise. Because you got to go through the phases. You got to go through the phases. You got to go through the waning. You got to go through the crescent. You got to feel full. You got to be full in tune to your energy to rise, and that power, your power to be at the strongest. And then you got to go back through your phases. The new moon, you got to go back into the dark to create that new light to rise up even stronger than before. So what has your intention set? What have you set your intentions to be? What are your affirmations? What do you want from yourself? What do you want to happen? Set that intention. And the things that are grabbing your attention, in order to start to ignore them or do away with them, you must understand the purpose of them in the first place. That's the only way that's the only way we get better. That's the only way we rise. That's the only way we get to our next level. That's the only way we take this to the next level. The only way you can raise your vibration is understanding, knowledge, riding that wave of the emotions that come with every level, taking yourself to the next, to your higher self. As I always say, I love you. We love you. Let's rise.